AITA for blowing up at my uncle for coming out as trans? The title is very, but there's a good explanation. My uncle, 64, has been married for 42 years and has 4 kids. Her and her wife have been separated for a few months but are still trying to sort out their differences. Every year around March, the whole family holds a sort of spring banquet. Due to their separation, my uncle and her wife arrived, well, separately. My uncle's wife arrived first with the kids. Not long after my uncle showed up. She was wearing a full face of makeup and a dress. At first everyone thought it was some kind of joke and started laughing, but soon realized it wasn't. When we sat down for dinner, she fully came out and said she identified as woman now. My uncle's wife Almista immediately burst into tears and left the room. Her eldest went after her while the rest of us stared at my uncle in shock. Now here's where it gets interesting. My uncle has expressed not feeling like a man to some of the family, including me. It was why we pushed for her to get a divorce. When they got separated, we thought my uncle had finally told her, come to find out she did not. Back to the dinner table. My uncle's wife and son had run out and the youngest was in hysterics. So, I lashed out. It wasn't the smartest thing to do looking back, but I told her she was a selfish piece of shit and if she thought anyone was proud, she'd been snorting too much coke. She left immediately. A few days ago, my mother called me and said I'd taken it too far and that my uncle wasn't responding to anyone's calls or texts. I know I was a bit harsh, but it wasn't the right place or time to reveal that. Especially when she hadn't told her wife and kids. For everyone to know something like this was up, except for her, I honestly feel terrible for my uncle's wife. This is a 64-year-old we're talking about, to come out that way after so long. I love my uncle. Me uncle was the first person to teach me how to ride a bike, drive, but this is just, I think I could have been more sensitive, so, AITA. Edit. Seen a few comments about this, so, I quickly want to say, she said she was fine with using uncle, dad, etc. but wanted to be referred to as she, her under new name. Edit 2. This is not written the best. But, her wife and kids didn't know. AITA for telling my little stepsister I didn't make any vows to her? My dad got remarried when I, 16F, was 9. My stepsister, 9F, was 2 at the time. My mom died under dad bailed on her mom when she was pregnant with her and was never in her life and never paid child support or anything. When my dad and his wife married, they wanted to do a family unity ceremony, which meant me and my stepsister would be standing there while vows were made to us, and then, as the kid who could speak, would make a vow to always be there for her, to love her and be her big sister. Ipsed on that. My dad was upset. His wife was even more upset because she wanted the video to show her daughter one day, of me making those vows to her and holding her. The ceremony happened. They made the vows to us while I was sitting and she was being held by her mom. But I didn't make any vows. There has been an expectation set that even though I didn't say the vows, that I would be the big sister my dad's wife wanted for her daughter. The vows she wrote for me say things like, I'll always do your hair when you ask, have makeovers whenever possible, take you to the park, play dolls and climb trees with you, snuggle on the couch and always make space for you in my bed, and that's not even the whole list of what she promised from me, but she did expect that stuff and was disappointed when I didn't. Dad pushed sometimes, but not all of the time, which I get, since he probably did want more cohesion from us and for me to make an effort to try and love her and be a sister for her. Around the age of 5, my stepsister started to get a bit more demanding with that stuff thanks to her mom and my dad a bit. She'd always want me to talk her places, or always want to tag along with me, was always coming into my room, etc. It got annoying. And when I would play with her or watch a movie with her, she never wanted it to end. She'd cry and whine and her mom would try to make me keep going when I would say I needed to do my own stuff now. Dad sometimes intervened but not always. A few nights ago she came into my room when I was FaceTiming my aunt and said I needed to do her hair the way I did mine at night. She got into my laptop screen and tried to end the call. I had to do it myself, and then when I told her I wasn't doing it for her after that, she said I made vows to be her sister and was being mean by not. I told her I made no vows. She said I did and her mom showed me them. I said her mom wrote those and I never said them. She told me that wasn't true. I called her mom in and told her she needed to stop lying and tell her the truth. Dad came in and told my stepsister the 3 of them needed to talk. My stepsister was upset by what I said, and when it was confirmed, she ran off crying to her room saying I don't love her. Dad asked me if I could console her and assure her I do love her and I said I couldn't do that. So he went to comfort her. But his wife said I was in a stand should have played along to spare her daughter's feelings. AITA? AITA for making our home into a no-religion space and including my mother in the rules? My 27F girlfriend, 32F, finally moved in together after dating for 3 years, due to money troubles keeping us in separate roommate situations. Wherever he exited to make our apartment into our own space, since for both of us this is the first home we've had without sharing with anyone else. My mother, and my late father, is rabidly Catholic. I was raised Catholic growing up, church every Sunday, praying before every meal and snack, blah blah blah. I refused to do confirmation, which enraged my mother, but she backed off after the priest told her that was my right. She didn't approve of me being bi, which is weird. She surprisingly is okay with gay people, and still dragged me to church hoping I'd grow out of it. Long story short, I moved out at 18, and have kept a respectfully distant relationship with her. She's mellowed a bit in her age, but she still tries to invite me to church every week, even after I told her plainly to cut that out. She's respectful to my girlfriend, mostly because I will choose her over me mother if it comes to that, and it nearly did when she accused my girlfriend of being a predator when we met due to our age gap. My girlfriend has an even more traumatic past with religion. When she was outed at 12, her parents abused her until she was 18, then disowned her. The entire time using Bible quotes and God's mission as an excuse. She still believes in a God, just not in religion or worship, which I respect. With a lore trauma about religion, we decided to make the place into a no-religion space. That means no praying, no religious symbols of any kind, no proselytizing, no talking about religious settings. My mother hates that, because all her friends are churchgoers and 80% of her stories relate to something happening in church. She also gets mad that we make her take off or cover her cross necklace, as are the rules. She claims we're being hypocrites, to which I told her she's lucky to be in my life at all. Still, some of our friends told us we're taking it too far, and using our trauma as an outlet for revenge. AITA for wearing noise-canceling headphones when I had younger kids sleeping in my room? We have some family staying with us for a funeral right now. We only have one guest room which my aunt and uncle took. My other aunt and uncle slept downstairs in the living room. It was decided that all their 5 kids would sleep in my room since it has the most floor space for air mattresses and its own bathroom so kids could go pee easily. They're all little, so I guess the hallway and the living room with the big glass doors was too scary at night. I wasn't a fan of this idea, but I didn't have a choice. I have a loft bed thought, so I had a little private space to myself. I don't go to sleep as early as them, so I was up in my bed playing video games. Around 11 p.m. someone turned on the lights. When I took up my headphones, I heard one of the kids screaming. I didn't really get what was going on, but my aunt and uncle took her out of the room. My mom and my other aunt got all the other kids to quiet down and go to bed. So I went back to my game and eventually fell asleep. The next morning I find out that the cousin that was screaming had been trying to get my attention because she needed to pee, but was too afraid to house my bathroom because someone had turned off the light that was supposed to be left on for them. She saw that I was awake and was trying to ask me for help. When I didn't answer her, she tried climbing up the ladder to my bed. She fell and ended up dislocating her arm. Everyone wanted to know what happened and why I didn't help her. I said I didn't hear her because of my headphones. Everyone started ganging up on me, saying I should have known better than to wear noise-canceling headphones since I babysit. Me uncle is the most angry and said that I need to learn to use my ucking head. But I babysit older kids and no one even said I was babysitting, so I don't think it's fair for them to say it's my fault. And #X200B. Update. I told my dad about them all blaming me when he got home, and he told them it wasn't my fault or responsibility. We went out and had dinner, just us. When we got back, my aunts and one uncle were still mad, but I'm just going to ignore them like my dad said to because they'll be gone soon anyway. AITA for not telling my daughter I'm proud of her, but being proud of my son? My F48 children Leah, F26, and Kevin, M21, are complete opposites. Kevin is a great student and a great athlete, has goals and works hard for them. Leah is the kind to have big goals too but gives up very easily. Both of our children have had the same opportunities growing up and neither has had to help or work more than the other did. Leah had tried many activities during her life. The problem is that if she's not excellent at it right away, then she gets frustrated and gives up. This is a pattern in her life. Kevin, on the other hand, has always been into sports. He played football through school, and he also plays baseball, basketball, and soccer. He's also better at school than she is. I think part of that is because he had to keep up his grades if he wanted to continue in the school team. Leah didn't have a reason to have great grades, so although she never failed a class either, her grades had always been lower than Kevin's. After graduating, Leah wasn't interested in pursuing further education. Still, as it would Makemi husband and I happy that she would at least try it, she did. She wasn't able to finish her second semester because she didn't like it. She got into a job after that, which is fine if she liked that. She and her boyfriend, they had been together since high school, got engaged that same year too, and Leah told us she wanted to be a mom. She felt like that was her call. She was very young, but I was too when I had her, so it's fine. She got pregnant, but she and the guy broke off. She couldn't take care of her baby, so my husband and I are raising our grandson. Now she's 26, and the truth is she hasn't fulfilled any of her wishes or goals. She doesn't have a career, is not married, and is not a mother. She does nothing of the care and doesn't live with us. Kevin won a scholarship because he's an athlete. Now he's studying at a prestigious university and is part of his college's football team too. He's fulfilling his dreams because he's working on them. Last week was Kevin's birthday. Our baby turned 21, so my husband and I planned a small party for him. We were all having a good time. Kevin was telling us about how good his grades were this last semester. I told him we were very proud of him for working so hard. Leah told me I had never told her that I was proud of her. I told her this was not the moment to talk about that because this party was for her brother and she dropped it. However, she brought it up again the next day at my house. She asked me why I never told her I'm proud of her, so I told her that I don't feel like she has done something to be proud of. Like I'm proud that she's a nice girl and very respectful, but she still hasn't done something to fulfill her dreams and make us proud. She went off on me and accused me of telling her she's a failure, although I did not do that. She was very angry and left. My husband agrees with me, but she's angry. AITA. Edit. I can't reply to comments anymore because I've been banned. Sorry about that.